Hello and welcome to the Dan Beasley Show. Today we're going to be discovering in the scripture trials, tribulations, temptations, and tests. We're going to be figuring out exactly what the 4 T's are. You've heard these mentioned all through in your life. You're going through a trial, you're going through a tribulation, you're going through temptation, you're going through test. Well, we're going to find out exactly what these things mean. Trials are basically what God has sent to discover what may be inside of you. You're being tried, you're being looked at, you're being examined, you're being put through situations to see exactly how you fit and where you fit and exactly what your true feelings are, such as the trial of Jesus with Pilate. Jesus did not fail that trial. However, who likes a trial? Who wants to be put through a crucifixion? Jesus himself prayed that the cup would pass from his lips, but it did not. So, you got trials, and that's the discovery of what may be inside of you. Moving on, we got tribulations. What's a tribulation? Well, tribulation is exactly, it's not giving tribute to something. You know what it is? It is a struggle. It is a struggle in life that's been given to you for you to overcome. It has been given to you, and it has been ordained for you to go through. You've heard of the storms of life. Well, tribulation is a storm. It is like a cocoon trying to burrow its way out. The insect's trying to burrow its way out of the cocoon to become what it should be. So, you've got tribulations. Temptations, what are they? Temptations are simply tests. Suggestions have been made to you mentally, in your heart, and in your mind, and you're being tested to see exactly why you are the way you are and who you are the way you are. The temptations in the test are simply, it's like when you test gold, you test it with either a special stone, or you test it with acid, or you test it in some other method. But more importantly, the thing is a temptation is a test. It's a test to see if you'll take the bait or not. The devil can throw all kinds of things in front of you, but it's up to you whether or not you're going to accept the test that he throws at you. You're going to take the bait. In other words, you're being baited. You're being baited to see how you'll react to it. Tests are also are also under pressure. Pressure is something where it's gradually increased. If you don't take the bait the first time, you'll take it a second time, you'll take it a third time, you'll take it a fourth time, and it'll keep on and keep on and keep on until finally you pass the test. Who came up with this system? God did. Who does God use to execute the system? Satan. And sometimes tests come from him. Sometimes trials come from him. Can we worry about the origin of where they come from? No, we should not, because everything in our life has already been pre-written. It's been pre-recorded. Before the foundation of the earth, our days were numbered. So what do? Do we face our life wanting to just sit down and not do anything and just become a zombie, refusing to participate, because this is sort of like the old Star Trek movie where these people had the people of the Enterprise inside these glass cages, and they were watching them, but they could not see the watchers. They knew that they were being toyed with and played with. Um, the devil will try you, and the devil would be happy to do all of these things that he could put on you. He would try his best to put you through trials and temptations and tribulations and tests. Um, I mean, that gives him an opportunity to get you to fail and go over to his side. Well, there's nothing else that you can do. I mean, it's all false and fake. It's all nothing. It's all nothing but a bunch of tomfoolery. I don't know why they exist. God's got them there for a reason. When Adam and Eve fell from Eden, boy, did they fall. I mean, they had no ideas of what they were doing to the rest of their race of people that we're going to follow after now. You've got people going to church nowadays. They're being put through all sorts of different things. Whenever you say, hi, how are you doing today? You don't know if you're insulting the person or not. I had that experience recently with my son. Just merely tried to express my concern over his health, and boy, did he jump down my throat. I mean, I didn't know what he was going through. Didn't know what the details were for what he was doing. These things that we're going through with this country are trials, tribulations, and struggles. We're struggling to try to work in a new world order. We're struggling trying to start a new world economy. We're struggling trying to, we're going through the trials and tribulations and the pressure of putting everything back together as though we were qualified to do so. And the Bible clearly says that if God doesn't build a house, the builders build it in vain. So there's nothing that anybody can do that can outdo God. I mean, God is always way ahead of where you are and what your plans are. You may make your plans, but God has the final outcome. What do you do in a situation? What do you do in a situation when you're caught and you don't know what to do? Well, there's this thing called prayer, where you cry out to God and you ask Him to help you. You cry out to Jesus. You cry out to the Holy Spirit. You ask for help. Sometimes the help will come in a form that you may not recognize. Sometimes it will be something sent to make your problem even more difficult. Sometimes you will be tested almost beyond your ability to hold up. The Bible says you will not be tested beyond what you can handle. However, sometimes it seems like they take you to the brink. I don't know what the purpose of that is, except for maybe to determine what your status is going to be in the next world, in the next life. All we can say is that this world is disappearing. It's going away. We see our tragedies every day, but everything is transitory. Everything is changing. We've had all kinds of tragedies in this country recently that we haven't seen in a long, long time, and we don't know what to make of them. So we're under pressure. We're under temptations and tests to see just exactly where we do stand with God, or if we'll even turn to Him. A lot of people has written God off as a um, relic of the past. We're a more sophisticated bunch of people than we used to be. Only the primitive people worship God, according to some people. The educated people, the people that have high education, more education they get, it seems like the less religious they are. However, you've got doctors and you've got people of high stature that go into church every Sunday and they believe in God and they believe in His Word and they believe everything that He has to give them. There's nothing that God can't do. God can bring in the rich. In fact, the first Christians were rich. Um, and The church became very, very rich because of the taxes it exerted on the people. Did you know the churches were the first people to tax people? Churches were. The Romans, of course, taxed their people. But you got to realize something. We're living in a world that's made out of dust and vapor. Every time they take something to the Lawrence Livermore laboratory and they send these beams of electrons around going almost at the speed of light. They split them in half. They split these particles in half or in millions of pieces. They find even more millions of pieces that they have to figure out exactly where they fit into things. This country is in a mess, folks. You got to realize it. Oceans are being poisoned. The land is being poisoned. It's being depleted. Uh, the air quality in the earth is becoming very, very poor because rainforests are being cut down that are refreshing the earth's oxygen reserves. I don't want to go through a laundry list of problems for the earth. The biggest problem is man. Man refuses to bow to God. Man refuses to yield to God. Man refuses to acknowledge God as the captain of his soul. Man is one that has determined to make it on his own. And he is going to try his best to do that. And he's going to try his best to destroy anything that gets in his way. He will seek a way, whether it's legal or illegal, or maybe both, to get his way. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen it. I've seen the lust just light up in the eyes of a drunk that had nothing in this world that he cared for. All of a sudden, he is like walking on air and judging people right and left. He's cursing people. He's cursing people and laughing at people that are having it hard. It's almost like he's made a deal with the devil. If you make a deal with the devil, he's going to leave you alone. Who wants a dead fish? The devil's not going to go after a dead fish. He's going to go after a live fish. And who is going to be the one that's going to save your soul when you die? You think Satan has done one single thing since creation to make a way of salvation for you? You think he's going to spare you? You think he's going to just somehow come to your rescue while you're in hell? He's got his own problems. He's going to be punished right along with everybody else. He's not going to be protected and given domain over hell. He's going to be one of the occupants of it. I've heard some people say that they would rather serve in hell than to rule in heaven, or rule in hell than to serve in heaven. You got to realize